that was fun to watch for a preseason game. And I know a ton of starters did not play, and still, it was fun. So it was enjoyable. I didn't go to bed worried about this, that, and the other. And I'm going to point out quite a few positives I saw. So let's start with Shedeur Sanders. Yes, he did handle the moment. I'll give him that. I am not a Sanders hater or a Sanders fanboy. I just want the Browns to find their franchise quarterback. And if they found it in this past draft, whether it be in the third round or the fifth round, I will be more than happy. I mean, let's face facts. The last time they had a franchise quarterback was Bernie Kosar. And for all you Baker Mayfield fans, no, at that time he was not a franchise quarterback. Baker Mayfield ran Baker Mayfield out of town, according to Baker Mayfield. At that time, he was very immature. Bernie came in, knew what he wanted to do, and did it. Bernie was our last franchise quarterback. And if Shedeur Sanders ends up being our franchise quarterback, I will be more than happy. He did a lot of positive things. Like I said, handled the moment. First two drives against their number one defense was, well, he let his emotions get the best of him. He had a wide open guy that he overthrew for a first down. Could have changed the complexion of the game. But, then when he came in against their backups, playing with Browns backups, coincidentally, guys that he practices with every day, so he knows them and they know him. He had his moments. You got to give him credit for that first touchdown pass. That was right where it was supposed to be. So you could see that he has talent. But you could also see where he still hasn't gotten a college game out of his system. Running around for 35, 40 yards for a 2-yard loss, you can't do that in the NFL. Against a starting defense like Baltimore or Pittsburgh or Detroit, they'll chase him down before he even gets. He might get 12 yards, but then that puts the offense in a hole. We saw that with Deshaun Watson last year at the beginning of the season when he got, he was getting sacked all the time. And they weren't just 1-yard sacks. They were like 13, 14, 16, 18-yard sacks. I've seen that show before, and I'd prefer not to see it again. So he needs to learn to get rid of the ball. But let me give you another positive. That throw out of the end zone, he set his feet. That was one of his knocks on him. It was poor footwork was terrible. Improvement. He set his feet, found the wide receiver, crossing over the middle. Nice throw. Excellent throw. Another one. Third down, and I think it was 9. I think it was in the third quarter after two shaky series coming out of halftime. But then one ended in a sack, which was his. Both, by the way, both the sacks were his fault. Sorry, they were. But then third down, I think it was 9. Steps back, feels pressure, steps up in the pocket, hits the tight end. The commentators both said he probably didn't even see the tight end. He threw to a spot where the tight end was supposed to be. He knew the tight end was running that route. That's very good. You could see him learn as the game progressed. And that's good. And that's what we've been hearing. That's what everybody's saying. Anytime the coaching staff throws something at him, he learns it. And he gets a positive from it. Now, is he ready to start week 1 against the Bengals? No. No, he isn't. I'm sorry, he's not. Does he deserve more snaps? Yeah, he does. Let's face facts. Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel aren't available. And I'd like to see them play against Philadelphia because if you're going to get rid of one of them, you got to have game film against an opponent. So before everybody says, well, those guys shouldn't start before Sanders. No, you want Pickett or Gabriel to start before Sanders because then other teams can get film on him and then they can decide if they want to trade him. There were teams that called after the Browns picked Sanders to see if the Browns were interested in trading Dillon. So there are teams out there interested in him. I watched a little bit of the Titans game last night, and their backups are just crap. Brandon Allen is not even average, and the guy who replaced him, number 3, he stinks. So there's a team that would be interested. You keep hearing New Orleans, and it makes sense. Kellen Moore was his offensive coordinator with Philly last year for Pickett, so that would make a lot of sense. So there will be teams looking for him. Like I said earlier, I mean, Tampa just signed Teddy Bridgewater, who was coaching high school football last year and coming off his 3rd retirement. NFL overvalues quarterbacks, so there will be somebody who wants one or the other. And now I'm perfectly happy with getting rid of one or the other. Joe Flacco is going to be your starter this year. He's your number 1 guy. He's probably going to get more number 1 reps this week coming up, and he should. He needs to get into a flow. I doubt he plays against Philly. They got 2 tough practices against him. I definitely think he'll get a couple series versus the Rams in the final preseason game. So everybody who's a Sanders fan, and by the way, are you convinced now there's no conspiracy? Thank you. There isn't. They're not trying to get rid of him. They're not trying to keep him down. Sanders, he's got talent. You got to give him credit. And he could be our franchise quarterback for the Cleveland Browns in the future. But if you want him to play, just go look at the schedule. Cincinnati, Baltimore, Packers, Lions, Vikings, Pittsburgh, first 6 games. I don't want to destroy this kid's confidence. Let him develop at his pace and at the coaching staff's pace. All right? That's the last I'm going to say about that. Let's talk about the game. Amani Marshall, running back, took the most of his opportunity. It was fantastic. Here's something I noticed during the game, because I watch these kind of things. They were running wide zone concepts from beginning to end. So if you were a second stringer who started, and all the way down to like guys who probably won't even make the practice squad, they were still running wide zone concepts. I love that. That shows you the change in offense and the confidence they have in the players to run it. Who else did well? It's interesting when you get the first preseason game, you look at the guys who start. They're not starters per se, but Caden Davis started that game. That's how much the coaching staff thinks of him. He may have a leg up on Luke Floria and Gage LaVerdan. Although LaVerdan, he played great. And Floria, he had his moments too. I really was watching. I wonder one other thing. Blake Whiteheart is supposed to be the number 3 tight end. He got no snaps. What's up with that? I mean, Brandon Bates played in his stead, and he did very well. I liked him. So he may be your number 3 tight end. Offensive line. I pay attention to the offensive line simply because, I don't know, I'm a fanatic about that kind of stuff. The only 2 guys who played well was Cornelius Lucas and Luke Whippler. Luke Whippler had an incredibly great game, and they put in Bucky Williams after that, and he was good. So they're pretty much set at center. I'm perfectly happy with their center situation. Not happy with the guard situation. Cohen started again. You watch to see who starts. Apparently, the coaching staff feels something about him. He got a little better. Barton Jackson, the tackle. I was high on him when they signed him. I don't know. They might want to look at the cut down deadline to find another tackle. Tackle number 4. He would be tackle number 4. I was hoping DeJuan Jones would get in for a couple snaps at left tackle, but they're holding him out, and maybe that bodes well that he's going to start. But I think your starting tackles are going to be Cornelius Lucas and Jack Conklin. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about how the defense did. All right, completely happy with the defense. I mean, Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger. Carson Schlesinger. Okay, linebackers are good, and even the linebackers that came in later, I'm good. I mean, Diabate was left in Berea, didn't make the trip. I'm good. They don't need to go get a new linebacker. A defensive line is the strength of this team. They are so freaking deep. I mean, they double team Mason Graham as he's pushing upfield. He's not waiting to cover the run. He's going towards the quarterback. Alex Wright. He puts pressure and gets a sack. Now, just imagine if it's a regular season game and Myles Garrett is playing. I doubt they're going to be double teaming Mason Graham. And if they do, look out quarterback, because here comes Myles Garrett. The other defensive lineman, KJ Henry, Julian Akwara, 2 sacks. That's these are guys that are way down the line. And you know, if you look at the other rookies, especially the undrafted, Aiden Huntington. Remember that name? I've been talking about him. I've been writing about him. 3 special teams tackles. He had a sack. Kid's 280 pounds, can play defensive end and defensive tackle. He's a force. Undrafted rookie free agent. Same with Donovan McMillan and Dom Jones. Dom Jones got the most money, guaranteed money, of all the undrafted rookie free agents that they signed. So that tells you something right there. Nick Needham, another guy I like and have been talking about. He and Chris Edmonds. Now, Needham is more like a corner safety combo, and Chris Edmonds, he played well late last year. So the safety room looks pretty good. I'm happy. The only thing I wasn't happy with was Rashawn Jenkins getting into the fight and getting thrown out. I understand the Carolina guy went at his knees. That would make me mad too, but there are other, you could get even with him later. You know, during a play, wink, wink, nod, nod. Know what I mean? You know what I mean. But as soon as Rashawn Jenkins went out, Cam Mitchell had to cover the slot, and they just went right down the field and scored a touchdown. Carolina did. And as a matter of fact, the guy who caught the touchdown was Cam Mitchell's responsibility. So they got to get another corner. I've always liked Cam Mitchell, but he did not look good in that game. And I've heard he's had up and down practices. So 125 yards rushing by backups. I mean, Dylan Sampson played 2 or 3 snaps, but you know, by all backups, that's not bad. That's good offensive line play. Not that many penalties. The majority of them came in the fourth quarter. I think they had 6. That's a huge improvement over past preseason games. And special teams. Wow. Night and day to last year. Night and day. They played great. The defense also got 2, special teams got a turnover. Of course, Nick Needham got the interception, so they were +2 in the turnover. They had more offensive snaps. Time of possession was in the Browns' favor. All in all, for a preseason game, it was, like I said, it was fun to watch. If you didn't have fun watching this, then you got something wrong with you. I saw the social media video of Shedeur Sanders talking to Tony Grossi, and of course a bunch of people on social media to get clicks and advertising dollars are taking it the wrong way. I watched the entire clip. Shedeur Sanders and him are yucking it up. They're both laughing about it. So it's nothing. You know, it's nothing. And Grossi will tell you that, and Sanders will tell you that. All right. One quick little note that was missed by the media. Quinshon Judkins in Florida, of course, you can waive your right to a speedy trial. Now, this is what Rashid Rice did. and he just got his altercation settled in court just this past summer. And of course, the commissioner suspended him. So what they are thinking is what his legal team is thinking is you can put off the trial, put off everything until January, February of next year. He can come in, sign his contract, and start practicing. The wild card is the commissioner's exempt list. I've talked to a few people who are knowledgeable about the league, and they both think that he's not going to end up on that based on the fact that they're going to delay the court hearings and all that kind of stuff. So this might bode well to get Quinshon Judkins signed and into camp and practicing. So I know, we don't know what completely happened. I'm going to give the kid a benefit of the doubt. He's never had any red flags before. I'll wait till the facts are coming out. But this bodes well for the team and the running game, even though the running game looked pretty damn good Friday night. So that's it for today. I want to thank everybody for joining me here on the Cleveland Browns Dog Pound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network, brought to you by Hemisphere Coffee. Thank you for following, listening, watching, and subscribing. We're just Browns fans like you. So everybody have a great day, and here we go. 2 practices with Philly, and then a nooner here in Central Time Zone exhibition, or preseason game against the Eagles. I think we'll find out a lot about this team. So everybody have a great day, and go Browns.